hide your children. You know, when it comes to San Francisco, they confirm that nudity is okay in front of children as long as there is no gratification, which is disturbing in its own right. And when we're going to show a video with you here, Kelly, if you could pull up the video from the gentleman asking the police, we'll play that first.
Okay. This is in San Francisco Pride?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a news reporter.
Okay.
So obviously there's a lot of nudity around here, men, women, transsexual stuff going on. And there's kids, wandering around the event. I'm not sure on San Francisco's laws or California's laws. Is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah, within certain boundaries.
But then, what are the boundaries, do you know?
Coupled with a lewd act. Yeah, anything coupled with a lewd act or anything being done for sexual gratification that involves other people. Basically.
Okay, but this event wouldn't be considered for sexual gratification.
No, if they're walking around and it's out, that's right. That'd be different than if they're masturbating or if they're forcing, like flashing people. Right,
She's full of shit, by the way. She's full of shit.
But even with kids, it's fine to be nude as long as there's no masturbation or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
By the way, you know what she's full of shit, Taylor? I saw grown men urinating and giving each other blowjobs on the street in a kiddie pool. So she's full of complete shit. And mind you, all three of those girls look like they're in the LGBTQAI plus
100%.
community. So
And
protecting their own.
I don't even care if they're, peeing or giving blowjobs or if they're just naked. You're naked in front of children. That's abhorrent. And I've been to one. I've gone to pride parades in the past, and I observed one when I was in D.C. I was just walking through, and the atrocity of what goes on, I literally just feel like it's an excuse for people to be degenerates.
When did you go?
I was in D.C. during the Palestine and the Pride Parade. Literally,
So
that
this
weekend.
year?
Yeah, like
Okay, let me.
3 weeks ago.
So I worked for a radio guy in Tampa. His name was Bubba the Love Sponge. If you look him up, he filmed Hulk Hogan having sex with his wife. Weird story. Doesn't tie into this at all. But he did he wanted to be very inclusive, and this was pre the movement.
Yeah.
Where like a pride. So 2016, we went to a pride parade. We had a float in the pride parade. We were throwing out beads at the pride parade. I didn't see a single tit. I didn't see a testicle. I didn't see a penis. It was literally, we went as like a joke because we were filming it. We're like, oh, it's a celebration of love. Maybe we'll see gay guys like making out, thinking it was funny. None of that.
Wow.
It was just people celebrating a parade.
What year?
2016 or 17. I don't remember the exact. But so you're talking about 7 years ago. So it's degraded. Because back then it was, because we had gay listeners and we'd bring the gay listeners on the Pride float. We thought it was fun. And we thought, hey, we'll see boobs. That's why we went. We were excited. There was no boobs. There was no tits. There was
Nothing.
no ass. It has changed so dramatically from being an actual event where you're just celebrating and having a parade for gay people to this sex fest, orgy fest,
It's
where people
disgusting.
are inserting dildos and urinating on people in pools.
Yeah.
It's escalated to that point because when I went the first time, I think it was 2016, 2017, and there was still, it's just an excuse for people to get drunk, wasted, drugs. It's all of that. And just to go back to the video there, and Patrick made a good point the other day of we have Mother's Day, we have Father's Day, but we have Pride Month. And like I said, I think it's just an excuse to be degenerate. But what I want to ask all of you guys, I think it's fair to judge a country on how they care for the most vulnerable. In our case, or in human case, which would be children. So on that case, the fact that nudity is okay in front of children, how are we doing as a country when it comes to being judged on the most vulnerable around us?
Go ahead, Shane.
I mean, like, why does it need to happen? That's my question. And you can blame the parents or whatever, but it's like, why do they need to be naked, first of all? What the hell does this have to do with gaining rights anymore? This is like, it's like an army celebrating victory by constantly marching through the streets, Like, when it started, when this whole movement started, it was like, we need to gain certain rights. We need to not be chased out of society. This has nothing to do with that. And instead, it's this kind of like constant reaffirmation of their victory over the culture. And when you have like that, cultures change over time, but you can't sustain a culture that just completely mocks the family unit. Sorry, but like the heterosexual family unit is the only thing that prevents society from falling into complete disarray. Now, I understand there are people always on the margins who don't fall into that category of a heterosexual family unit. Fine, but that's like saying like, well, I personally don't eat meat, so everyone else who eats meat, I don't really care if they lose access to meat, like Karine Jean-Pierre, where she's like, well, they were asking her about the prices of food. She goes, well, I don't really eat meat, so I don't care.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
dumb bitch.
okay, bitch, but 80%, 90% of the fucking country eats meat, so you should fucking care, especially because you work for the president.
Yeah.
Same thing where it's like, all right, you may not be in a heterosexual family unit, but guess how humans are made? Guess how humans grow
Male, female sex.
grow up to not kill and steal by having a father figure. Guess how they learn emotional empathy from a mother. Like, you need that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And if your whole thing is that you just are constantly mocking that in these parades, then I think it's clear to say that you don't care about the country or its future.
And let me explain something to you. If I was the president of the United States, Pride Month is fucking canceled. And I'm putting into law, I don't give a blanket law, fuck the states. If you are butt naked, your tits, your dick, anything is exposed in the street, you are going to jail. And if there's kids present, you're going to be charged accordingly. And the parents, you're going to be charged and your kid's going to get taken away. Enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of them letting it happen. And all we go is but come on, it's all good. They shouldn't bring them. No. There needs to be consequences for every single one of these things. Just like pedophilia. Just like guys, you know why they keep doing it? Okay, they go to jail. They'll do 2 years. They'll do 3 years. Then they get released. No, death penalty. If you have sexually molested or raped a child, you're going to jail? No. Execute these motherfuckers. And guess what? I'm telling you right now, we're going to still have pedophiles, but they're going to slow down exponentially. Every single day on X, I'm seeing another video of vigilantes taking it into their own hands, creating fake accounts, and catching underage kids to try to hook up with them. And then in some places, you know what the cops are saying? Well, it wasn't an actual kid or a cop, so we have to let them go.
It's a few things. I don't know about the death penalty because I wouldn't give the power to the government because I just don't trust them to have the ability for the death penalty. But I understand what you're saying. But on the other terms, you have Jeffrey Epstein where they'll actually just let him go. But two things on the Pride Parade. They're like, why would they bring the children? It's literally in the middle of the city. I was going to the museum in D.C. and I had to cross the Pride Parade to get there. You can't avoid it. So like you literally can't avoid it. But also to the parents that are bringing them, why are you bringing your children to the Pride Parade? Yeah. I really don't.
You know why? Because go ahead, Rob.
Does
please.
Anybody here besides me have kids? No. Okay. Parades are awesome. They really are. For kids, there's so much. My son, when we lived in Cleveland, Ohio, there was nothing to do. We lived in Cleveland. There was nothing. It was the only thing to do was go to parades. So we'd go to every parade every weekend. If anybody pulled out a tit, I would never take my child there. Yeah. I have a 5-year-old. There's no reason why I would take him to a parade where there's people even dressed provocatively to the point where it's bikinis and like the dog collars. Like there's no reason for that at all.
No.
The thing is, they're not even celebrating Pride anymore. When you go there, there's weed, there's alcohol, they're a belligerent, they're naked. It's like they're not celebrating the freedom of sexuality. They're literally just being degenerates. And what they're doing, bringing children, and the fact that it's okay, it is desensitizing children at a very young age that sexuality is okay, being naked, doing whatever you may be. You said the guy was doing
He was urinating in somebody's mouth, and there's people were everywhere. Kids were walking by.
And the thing is, those kids will never get that innocence back.
Period.
When they lose it, like I remember if there's anybody that's listening that's under the age of 18, tune out for a second. When I found out when my son found out that Santa wasn't real, it hurt as a parent because I realized, oh my God, my little boy's growing up. Yeah. He found out about it on the bus from other kids. When you watch children lose their innocence, it becomes very hard.
Yeah.
What I love about my 5-year-old is that he is innocent. Mm-hmm. I would never try and take that away intentionally.
Yeah.
My 14-year-old, he's a little bit more mature. We can have conversation. We joke around about like our favorite pastimes, watching 9/11 videos. He's very interested in the news. Pat talks about once you start reading a book, you can never go back. Remember, he tells the story of the guy that goes over and watches the same Bernie Mac clips at his house when he was a kid. Yeah. And Pat's dad said, enjoy that innocence. That guy has that innocence. Yeah. But once you open those books and you start reading, your mind goes somewhere else and it can never go back. Stop depriving these children of their innocence. Let them be kids. Stop harping in schools about LGBTQ. Let them discover that shit on themselves, like we did when we were 13, and we realized, hey, how come Timmy's never had a girlfriend?
Yeah,
that's weird. Right, Timmy? What's going? Do you not like girls, Timmy? Are you gay, Timmy? What? No, I'm not gay. Okay, and then 10 years later, Timmy comes out as gay. Okay. But that's how we discovered it. Now it's like it's in their face at school. It's in their face on the internet. It's in their face when they go to a parade, or even just driving through, or going to a Panera Bread, and all of a sudden a bunch of trannies on bicycles naked or riding by in the street.
You can't escape it. Like literally in DC, they had pride parades on the Capitol, like on like these monuments. They had it on churches. You can't
churches wrapped in trans flags. I remember when that started happening.
George Washington's church had everyone welcome pride flag on top of it, and I'm like,
all right.
And before you talk, I just want to reiterate because I didn't want it lost in translation, or because I know we were kind of everywhere. And I believe this is my idea. No Pride Month. You guys could get a day like everybody else. No 147 days. Yeah. And I'm going to say this again. If you are a pedophile and you rape or molest an underage kid, I would make it a law that you're going to get the death penalty. There's no leeway. That's no consequence of my dick. Everybody's going to know, holy shit, I better not do this or I'm going to die, because everything else isn't working. Nothing's working, okay? So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. Yes, pedophiles, all of them should die. You cannot cure that person. End of story. Go ahead.
This is going to get loud. This is going to get loud.
Yeah, go.
Okay, first of all, I will take a bullet for Steve to date John, because it's American. It's a fucking free country. That said,
yes,
this is fucking communism, and it's always been communism. The whole queer movement is a bunch of French degenerates. Because when the Russians, did the October Revolution, there's one tie they couldn't break. That's a family, the nuclear family. They did encourage kids to tell on their parents for their parents to be loyal to the Communist Party.
Yes.
Because the government, the state is everything. And this movement is different to gay people, it's different to trans people, it's different to lesbians.
It's all different.
Those are good people, most of them God-fearing, and they're having their own life and doing their own things. Another thing is the LGBTQ movement. That's a different thing.
Yes.
These people, I will go to war for them.
Oh, 1,000%.
Every single one of them, I support their right to be free, and I will go to war for them. But the LGBTQ movement is a communist collective. Like the class struggle that is the driving force of the Communist Party, has been slipping, because we live in a credit card society. Everyone, even though the middle class is being destroyed by inflation, everyone has the same means, some kind of roof over their head, food every day. So it's a lot harder for them. And they've been driving people away from the class struggle, because we know we have a 1% class that do whatever the fuck they want. And they keep us busy fighting over if you eat meat, if you date guys, if you don't date guys, if you're black, if you're tall, if you're short. And I'm not playing this game. I told last time that one of my favorite people in the whole world was my gay uncle that lived in California.
You told me that guy had to take a boat.
We used to go there every summer. I had the most beautiful memories with him. Everything child appropriate. We'll go walk in the park. He never took me to not even to the gay neighborhood of California. He will take me shopping and eat ice cream. And he had a gay dog named Sunshine. It was a beautiful memory.
Of course he did.
Very God-fearing guy. A partner for 30 years. I believe he can have that lifestyle. This America. But on the positive side, and the future looks bright, Vinny, we're slowly winning, Vinny. People undermine how big the Bud Light thing was. That was probably one of the biggest wins in the last 10 years for the conservative movement, because enough is enough. These fucking bullshit, cowardly boomers that are the worst generation that ever lived. The worst generation that ever lived. They all cowardly. They wouldn't know what politics is, even if they kicked them on the head. They were so scared because their gay intern was like, we should put the rainbow there. And they went against. And once people realized this is politics, this is straight politics, this is collectivism, and this is politics. It has nothing to do with gay people. This year, 10 teams in the NFL did not bow down
I'm
to
proud.
the LGBT
Good,
movement.
good for them.
And this is only getting bigger and it's only getting rolling. Nothing against any type of gay people, queer, whatever. Live
Nope.
your life, live your truth. If 5 guys, they want to date each other,
Go
and
for it.
raise organic pigs in the middle
Yeah,
of
just keep your
Arkansas.
dick out of the
Just
street.
go do it
Exactly.
and support it.
And can I just relate a story where?
Well, hurry up because Kelly's flashing us.
Yeah, just 1 minute. So like,
Yeah, Kelly.
Kelly,
flash
no.
us.
You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
so just not that long ago in American history, like say the 40s or 50s, you couldn't walk down the street with too revealing of an outfit.
Yes.
In a
Very
small
true.
town, a cop would literally.
Yes.
My great aunt told me a story where she was wearing too revealing of an outfit, and a cop who was her friend's older brother literally kicked her off the street and was like, "Get the hell back inside."
Good.
So we wonder why people there's just so people are cheating on their wives, and there's like so much temptations in society. A little modesty would go a long way, and that goes for everybody, not just the Pride Parade. But
Yeah, I agree.
Say it.
Amen.
Bring shame back. No more pride, more shame.
Yeah.
This society
Shame.
needs shame.
Shame.
Shame on
We can
all
bring
of you.
Cersei from
Shame
it.
on
But
you.
the future
Shame
on
on
you.
you.
Shame.
Bring shame.
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 Yes.